Welcome to Essential Ingredients, powered by NextGen Purpose. EI serves up thoughtful conversations with industry leaders and pioneers who support a regenerative future for our food system. The stories shared by our guests are meant to spark curiosity and inspire informed global change. Good afternoon and welcome to Essential Ingredients. I'm your host, Justine Reichman. Today with me is Stella Vanstone, who is the CEO and co-founder of Stellar Eats. Welcome, Stella.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am too. I'm excited to get to know you and learn a little bit about Stellar Eats. So first of all, Stella, where are you? Where are you located?
I am in Toronto, Canada right now. It's pretty cold for spring, but I guess we don't really get spring here.
Well, it's actually quite warm here today. It's unusually warm, but I guess that's global warming. So
Jealous, but not jealous.
I know. So for those of us that are not familiar with what Stellar Eats is, tell us, what is Stellar Eats?
Absolutely. So Stellar Eats is a line of healthy baking mixes, all made with 8 or less real food ingredients. All the mixes are grain-free, gluten-free, plant-based, and paleo-friendly. And we really make it easy for people to make delicious treats at home. We like to say we make healthy eats that taste like treats.
That's fun. I like that. So when you say real food, because I hear people say that, what do you mean by real food? Was it just the list you just told me, or does it mean something specifically?
So to me, I'm a holistic nutritionist, and to me, what it means is that when I turn over a product and I look at their ingredient list, it's all food that I recognize. So when you turn over one of our packages, you're going to see that it's based with almond flour and sweetened with coconut sugar and has things like flax seeds in it. All things that people, those tangible whole foods that people can really identify with.
What would be an example of something that's not real food?
I guess when I say real food, I really like to steer towards more like whole foods. And I guess there's not really any fake food as much as, lab generated colors or xanthan gums and
Got
things
it.
like that.
That makes good sense to me. Right. I don't like to eat food when it's food coloring and all those kinds of things.
And I think, to me, I'm like, all foods have a place in our life. I think I just really wanted people to be able to feel like they can eat all their favorite foods and not feel like they have to restrict themselves when they're eating healthy. That was a big driving force behind the company for us.
And so how did you start this company? What inspired you to start this company?
So I grew up loving to cook, loving to bake. The kitchen was always my happy place. And unfortunately, when I was a teenager and into my early 20s, I struggled with disordered eating. So food actually became this really big stressor in my life when it once brought so much joy. And so, in the midst of my disordered eating, I think I tried every diet out there, and I think I just really felt this immense pressure from society that eating healthy was about the way you look. It's about being skinny. And I think that's perpetuated by these products that use words like, oh, this is a skinny tea or a skinny product and a guilt-free product. And so I found myself pretty fed up with that. And by the time I hit my early 20s, I had come out the other side of my eating disorder, but I was still really frustrated with how the wellness world was just riddled with diet culture. And so the mission with Stellar Eats was really to create a product that people can feel really good eating, and it's really about how you feel and not how you look. I had this aha moment in my early 20s when I started eating, less processed food, less like low calorie snack packs and things like that, and just more vegetables and whole grains. And I just started to feel great and had all this energy. And it sounds so funny to look back on it now, but it was this aha moment of, oh, people eat healthy for reasons other than being skinny. It's actually, you have more energy. You just like feel more alive. It's all those good things that I think people really miss out on.
Well, I think it's interesting that, eating well affects how you feel, and if you eat poorly, which doesn't always mean eating things that are just what we see as bad, like the things that people tell us are bad, but things that actually are bad for you that you might not necessarily know. So there's all
Hmm.
these things that people are allergic to or that you don't like. They can also make you feel bad. So it's so important to, as you know, as a nutritionist, listen to your body.
Yes. And I'm such a believer in that there's no one size fits all diet for anyone. I think it's really a case by case. It's about exactly what you're saying. Certain foods, how they make you feel. Some person might be allergic to something, or it might make someone else, have amazing energy and great digestion, all these things. You just never know.
So, okay, so you, when as a kid you had these, you had issues around food, then how they made you feel and all these different things, and you went from being a food lover to just having these challenges. So, at what point after that aha moment did
Yes.
Stellar Eats come into the picture? Was it before or
Yes.
after the becoming a nutritionist,
So yes, I graduated from
or
nutrition.
were they in parallel?
A little bit. So I was in school for nutrition and I started a food blog called Stellar Health. And I was just cooking food and my
Wow,
whole,
I'm sorry, I just connected. Stella,
yes,
Stellar. Wow, you got
yes,
lucky. Your parents really fed that to you. Oh,
exactly.
I like that, fed that to you.
Yes, exactly. Um, yeah, so I started this food blog and with a mission to really make delicious comfort foods with, whole food sources, and just try to make all those foods that we love with really healthy ingredients. So that was really what Stellar Health was about. And after I graduated nutrition school, I really didn't know what I was going to do. And I had some nutrition clients that I was working with at the time. And time again, I just kept getting the same question or request of, oh, I wish you would just cook for me. So I was like, okay, I'll just cook for them. So basically, I started just cooking in my home kitchen, which was kind of illegal, and
Just a little.
delivering just a little bit. And I was delivering meals around the city. I have zero business experience. My team jokes that I set our pricing based on a feeling. Like I truly didn't know what a margin was. Like I had no idea. So I'm delivering these meals, kind of drowning in the business side of things because I love to cook. I love to develop recipes, but I don't know anything about, the
The
financial or
bottom
business
line.
aspect. Yeah,
Were
exactly.
you in the black or the red, or you weren't sure what the black or the
Didn't
red
even
was?
know didn't even know what those meant. So my cousin had just had a baby and she had just exited a company. So she was at home with her new baby and she started ordering meals from me. And eventually she was kind of like, "Do you need some help?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm drowning. Yes, please. I would love your help." Her name's Michelle. So she came on board to kind of be the business operation finance side of things. And so Michelle and I were running the Stellar Eats meal delivery business together. And one of my friends from high school was working in a marketing job and she was cruising Indeed and she saw that we were hiring in our kitchen. And she texted me being like, "Is this real?" Because she really wanted to leave her job and work in food. And I was like, "Yes, it's real." Her name's Emma. So Emma quit her job and came to work in the Stellar Eats meal delivery kitchen. And the three of us were working on this for about 6 months. And there were just some issues we were running into. A big one for me was that I really feel passionately that I want people to feel confident in the kitchen. And like when it comes to healthy food, you can make it yourself. It's easy to make healthy food at home. It does not mean bland chicken and broccoli every day. It can be delicious and it can be easy. And so I never felt right just delivering meals to people. I wanted them to get in the kitchen and feel inspired. So the three of us decided to really pivot the business from being meal delivery into these baking mixes. And this happened, about like March 2020, we were pivoting into these baking mixes, launching in stores. And then obviously the
Perfect timing,
pandemic
by the
happened.
way. I was going to say perfect timing, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was baking at home, so it wasn't a bad time to be in the home baking business. We have a banana bread mix, which was very popular during the
Are they
pandemic.
all almond based?
Yes, they are. Almond based and sweetened with coconut sugar.
Okay.
But yeah, so the three of us have pivoted the business and then we launched in the US. So we're from Canada, obviously. We launched in the US in June 2021 after Erewhon Market actually, they reached out to
Love
us and
Erewhon.
the best. We were beyond. We got the email and we thought it was a prank. We were like, this is a joke. This is the best thing ever. And so, yeah, went to the US and since then I've just been trying to expand and
So have you
traveling.
ever heard of Pod Foods?
Yes, we are actually with Pod Foods.
Okay,
That's
I was
our
gonna say you should
distributor.
talk to Larissa and and work with Pod Foods to get into a variety of places around the US. Pod Foods is a great place for you guys to connect with. I mean, obviously you guys already are, but
Yeah, I've met Fiona. I don't think I've met Larissa, but they're amazing. They've been so great to work with as a distributor. They actually just helped us get into Central Market. So we just launched in Texas in February at 10
are you
locations.
in New York yet?
We're at Fairway Markets and Union Markets in New
Good
York.
job. I love
Thank you.
Fairway. I love New York. How about are you at the other one that I love? Oh my God, they used to deliver to me. Oh, who did I used to get delivery from? It hasn't been that long. I was born and raised in New York, and now I can't remember who I got delivery from. How about D'Agostino's? I was a big fan of D'Agostino's.
No, we're not there yet. We're really just starting. We're just kind of
Well,
hammering
Fairway's a
details
good
out
one.
with our,
Fairway's big. But
yeah.
the other one that does delivery that everyone gets delivery from. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to remember and get back
Yeah,
to you
you
on
got to
it.
get back
I'm
to me.
just
We
like
got to get in
I'm
there.
having a senior moment. I'm showing my age. For
Not at
those
all.
that can't see me, apparently I'm showing my age. But there's one that everyone gets delivery from. And I think they don't have a shop, but it's I don't know. I mean, I used to get delivery from them every week, and I
That's
can't
so
remember it. I've
funny.
been out of New York like 7.5 years, and all of a sudden I can't remember. All I have to do is look at an old credit card statement. No
Yes, you got to
problem.
get back to me because we need to get in there
I
clearly if
will. I
everybody
will. I
gets
definitely will.
delivery.
I even know one of the guys that founded it. His name is David. If only I could remember what David owned.
That's so
Dave.
funny.
Dave. I'll have to remember that. In any case, wow. So that is a great story. So COVID did not even have a negative effect in reality. I mean, you went to consumer product good. It was a baking thing. People are at home. You're bringing people together. They're making your product. And
That
did
was the
you,
best thing to see, I think, over the pandemic. I loved, especially I think Instagram gives us such a cool insight now into it used to be if you had a food product, you get it on the shelf and then it's like goodbye, kind of into the ether. Like you don't know what's happening. And so being able during the pandemic, especially being able to see everyone at home baking, like moms baking with their kids and even kids making our mixes, that was just like the best thing to see. And I feel like when I see things like that, I'm like, oh, this is why we're doing this. It's the best feeling.
so, and now are you still a nutritionist? Or are you still a practicing nutritionist?
I don't see clients anymore. I'm really mainly focused on Stellar Eats for sure. While I loved seeing clients and connecting with people over food, I think that there's just something so unifying about food, and it's just it's a great practice, and I hope to get back to it someday for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, they're both so gratifying and you're making an impact either way. I mean, really, you're putting healthy food out there, you're making it accessible, and you're giving people an opportunity to have access to something that they might not otherwise have. And
Yeah,
they
and I
didn't have an
think
option.
exactly. And I think for me too, such an important piece in creating this brand was that it's kind of the brand that I needed when I was in high school and struggling, where we don't use words like skinny and guilt free. And we're really careful and intentional about the language we use. So we say, made with real ingredients that are going to make you feel amazing. And that's really the message that we're trying to push forward, that wellness is not just about how you look, it's really about how you feel. And it should be this like, you should make you confident, not more insecure.
So as you've built this brand from the ground up, you started as a nutritionist. It came from your personal struggles, your personal challenges, I want to say, and you taught yourself how to be an entrepreneur. I mean, through the whole process.
I did. I mean, I feel like I've gotten a crash course MBA from not knowing what a margin was to, yeah, today I did a couple. I'm actually in the Food Foundry Accelerator program. I know you interviewed Betty from
Yeah,
Confetti
Betty
Snacks.
Lou.
So we're in the same program together right now. And part of the program was we had to do some VC presentations today. And it was just it's, one of those moments where you can feel like, okay, wow, this from not knowing what a margin was to here, I can say that I've come a pretty far ways.
That's amazing. So since you came from this place where you didn't know what a margin was and you didn't know what the black or the red was, or how to make that happen, what do you say to other entrepreneurs that are out there that want to go out and create this, but maybe might be afraid or scared or feel like they don't know how to put one foot in front of the other?
I think that is such a good question. It's like the ultimate struggle as someone who, might have the entrepreneurial bug, but doesn't know how to take that first step. And I feel like I often say, if anyone's listening to this story and feeling that way, like if I can do this, literally anyone could do this. And I think it's really about just letting go of your ego and not being scared to ask maybe stupid questions, but that's the only way you're going to learn. And even if you go in knowing everything, you're going to make a million mistakes either way. So I guess it's that classic advice of just start, because there's going to be mistakes and missteps and everything in between on your journey.
Is there anything that you would have done differently, you think, if you would have been more knowledgeable?
That's a great question. I don't think so, because I feel like even our most, quote, dark moments, now we look back and we laugh so hard. Like before, so right now the way we produce our products now is we have a co-packer. So we outsource to this production facility, and they make our product. But before that, it was me and Emma in the kitchen hand mixing everything. And when you're just doing something, it's so inefficient, like hand mixing pounds and pounds of dry powder, pouring it into the individual pouches. We had so many hilarious moments where like I accidentally had the mixer on too high and we had this powder explosion everywhere. And, in those moments, you want to tear your hair out and cry. But looking back, we laugh so hard at them. So I don't think I would change a thing.
So how many SKUs do you have now?
We have 8 permanent SKUs, and then we have a gingerbread cookie mix, which we bring in seasonally in December. It's like one of those kind of chewy, delicious ginger molasses type cookies.
And what are you looking to, or how are you looking to scale going forward?
I think, I think we love our product line. We have a lot of products. So I think we have no shortage of new product ideas. We're always dreaming up, we love the idea of making like an everything bagel mix or some kind of vanilla cake or muffin mix. We have so many ideas. I think probably for the next few months, we're really just going to focus on trying to get our distribution worked out and with the current SKUs we have, but I'm hopeful for what we have in the pipeline as well.
So I look at you and I look at this as somebody that's creating a business that's better for you, and better for the people, and it has a better messaging, and it's to support a better lifestyle and a healthier you, right? Would you say that?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope so. That's, that's the dream.
That's the dream. So, as you look forward and you look at the food space, what do you see that's new and next for that space?
For the kind of better for you
Yeah.
space, I think a lot of people are really rejecting that old school greenwashing that happened, where, if brands will just put natural on their products, and people are coming to terms with that doesn't actually mean anything. So really being smarter about what are these brands claiming, what are their actual values. And I think that people are really waking up to wanting to support brands that share values with them. So I think that is really cool. And I think we're seeing more and more of that. And I am seeing a lot more of health and wellness companies that are using really positive language instead of that, like, oh, this is a skinny product or whatever they say. And I always appreciate that. I think the teenager in me who's struggling just feels really happy that we're in a moment like this.
Oh, thank you so much, Stella. I really appreciate you joining us and sharing the insight on building a business from A to Z and with lack of business experience, because I think that there's a lot of other entrepreneurs out there that are scared to do it, have great ideas, are visionaries, and it's just a little too scary. So seeing somebody go out there and do it and just start is so inspiring.
Thank you so much. That's so nice to hear. Well, thank you for having me. This has been lovely. So nice to connect.
Wonderful. To learn more about these episodes and access show notes, go to nextgenpurpose.com and choose podcast. If you like this episode, head to Apple Podcasts or your favorite platform to subscribe and leave us a review. Visit the Next Gen Purpose YouTube channel to subscribe to our EI videocast and give this episode a like while you're there. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Next Gen Purpose and connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Justine_Reichman. Thanks for joining us.